When I saw the news that Trump had the coronavirus, my immediate response or thought was, what kind of effect is this going to have on the stock market? And we saw that it opened up down 400 points, but recovered some of the loss before the day was over. And then my mind went to, well, what if he should go on a respirator and Pence becomes our active president? And then, of course, I ask myself, well, what if Pence goes on an respirator and Nancy Pelosi becomes our acting president? What is this going to do to the stock market? And I personally don't have a clue. So with that in mind, I said, well, I remember some incidents that created a similar situation. And the first thing that came to my mind was the assassination of Jack Kennedy, which occurred in November 22nd, 1963. At that point, I was, I guess, a freshman in college. I kind of remember being in my dorm room with another individual listening to the radio and absorbing everything, and then going down into the community area of Williams Hall on Ball State University and watching it on TV with my college mates, and really wondering what was happening to our world. Well, then getting back to what kind of effect does that have on the stock market? The stock market that day plunged, was the word they used, 2.8%. Well, we see that on a daily basis anymore. So and then it recovered within 2 days to its normal price. And I think that's because and Johnson took over as president, and we have a well mapped out procedure as to how our country responds to the assassination of a president. It wasn't the first time that it happened, and hopefully it was and will be the last time. But I suspect there would be substantial difference if Nancy Pelosi became the president. Again, if it did happen, it would be for a relatively short period of time. So I guess where I'm going with this is it's not something we need to get crazy about. It's not something that we need to say, oh my God, we need to get out of the stock market because this could spell disaster. I don't think that's going to happen. So I looked a little further and I thought, okay, what other incidents, events, and that's what I like to call them, events occurred that the market reacted to. And I came up with several. The Cuban Missile Crisis, which again, I remember, I guess on October the 10th, 1962, that was, I was a senior in high school. And the market dropped 2.7%. President Ronald Reagan, with attempted assassination in 1981, that was March the 30th, the market went down 1.2%. That's a normal day in today's market. It's just what we call a red day in today's market. The resignation of Richard Nixon, again, a 1.3% drop in the market. That was August the 8th, 1974. And then the collapse of a hedge fund, long-term capital, on September 23rd, 1998, the market dropped 2.2%. So I think the takeaway is that this would be a tragic event if our president did end up on a respirator, or we won't go there. But it's not going to change the world. It's not going to change the stock market. I don't know that it's even worth putting in anticipation a stop loss order in specific for that. If we look back at other events that moved the markets, the first one that would come to my mind would be 9/11, and I do remember 9/11 because I was working for American Express Financial Advisors at the time, and we were having a meeting and Nita and I had flown to Orlando, Florida, and on 9/11 we got up early to walk into an area called the Plantations, a housing development in Orlando, and we were walking around the area, and there were some workmen working on the electrical, and they had a van radio on, and we heard on that van radio that that a plane had flown into the tower. We went over to the facility and actually saw the second plane hit the towers. And since that day, the first thing I do every morning is turn on the TV to find out what happened, because we had gotten up that morning and didn't turn on the TV. We immediately took our showers, got dressed, and went to the Plantations and saw that. And that's a memorable day. On that day, the market did drop 7.1%, and then the market was closed. Actually closed for a number of days. I think it didn't open back up until like the 17th, so it was closed for about a week. And that was the record drop of the stock market until the pandemic. And the pandemic holds the record now with a 14% drop in one day. And interestingly enough, that was on the 14% was on the Dow, 11.6% on the S&P. That would wake you up. That would put you into a level of panic. And we know that the market lost on that day roughly $1.4 trillion in market value over the next 5 days of trading. And we also know that gold spiked as a result of that, went from $215 to $287, or a 33% increase in price relative to gold. So fear of political unrest, or I guess fear of what a pandemic is going to do to your economy, is the worst thing that the market has seen. Even the bombing of Pearl Harbor didn't affect the market as strongly as the pandemic has. So we have, I think, I can draw from that, as it created such a downward thrust, it has created a overall acceptable volatility on a daily basis. Because again, I go back and look at these and say that when Kennedy was assassinated, the market dropped about 3%. That's not unusual in a given day when announcements are made relative to the pandemic and what we have experienced since March. So my take on this is I just can't imagine what the Trump family is going through. I really, my heart goes out to Trump's son. This is a young man who's been up and down the emotional curve for the last 4 years, I'm quite sure. And I just hope he comes out of this with some mental stability. And I don't know why anybody'd want to be president of the United States. You got to have an outrageous ego to go through that. I deal with some of the people in comments on my videos is harsh enough. So I'm not going to do anything relative to that. There are some other things that I think we need to be conscious of. And in particular, I think it would be wise to be conscious of what has happened over since March, and what the effects of that is going to be, either positive or negative, on the earnings of the stocks that we hold. I'm investigating some things that have come to my attention, and I will be sharing those on the Discord. And the Discord, if you don't know, is my channel is Best of Us Investors. We're a group of right now about 55,000 subscribers who want to help each other be better at investing, about keeping more of what we make in our investments, and being in a position to pass our good fortunes on to our heirs. With that in mind, we have a Discord, and we have a tribe. And that tribe, if you want to become a member of it, you go to bestofusinvestors.com and you sign up with your name and your email address, and that will give you access, or will mean that you will receive a letter from me every morning that the market is open. And then that will also give you a link to our Discord, what I call our village, where we share even more information. I don't want my channel to be seen, as some of you think it is, that I am here to influence the stock market for my own personal benefit. I don't have that big of an ego. But with that in mind, I am not in the future going to be sharing my portfolio and my individual trades on my YouTube channel. I will share my outlooks for various stocks, but what I do personally, I will not be sharing on my videos. I will be sharing that on the Discord, and we're going to create I guess, a premium section for those of you who are truly members of the tribe and want to share and want to be a part of this. Drew and I are going to do that. The other thing I want to share with you is I'm going to release a video later today about a book that we're writing. Rocco and I have come together to write an anthology, and that is a group of short stories about tribe members and their experiences in the investment markets, whether it be stock markets, real estate, whatever. And we want to get you involved and tell your story, whether you want it in your name or anonymous. I'm going to put out a video at 8 o'clock this morning, a second video today, and it's going to explain what the book's all about. So look for that. Rocco, if you're interested in contributing, Rocco will contact you. You'll email him something about your story and your phone number, and we'll build this book so that this channel is not all about Carrie. It's about the tribe. It's about the members of the tribe. And a lot of you have asked, how can I contribute? This will be a way that you can contribute. So look for that video, and look for some more in-depth sharing on our Discord, our village. And so let's wish the best, no matter what our political leanings are, for our president. This can't be easy. Donald and I are close to the same age. I think I'm in a little bit better shape than Donald. If it happened to me, I know what I'd be thinking right now. I'd be scared to death. So my prayers go to you, Donald, and your family. And I hope your lovely wife is doing well, and your son. So, Godspeed with you.